guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about the 240, I believe. No, not the progression rewards. The daily login rewards, 240 days, you get Ghrush the Mangler. Now, as I said when I was reviewing these three champions, the Taynix Hate Flower, which I actually will be building out and maxing out for you guys before she's available in-game, and also the new legendary Visix the Unbowed. I actually like Grush the best out of these three champions. I think that he is maybe a top 10, top 15 epic in the game. Let's go ahead and go over him. I have him all built out, so we'll see how I geared him out. Today we'll go over the build that I have, but he is one of those champions that there are a number of different ways you can build this guy out depending on how you want to use him. We'll talk about a few of those different strategies you guys can employ depending again on where you want to use your Grush. So on the A1 he has the Leech. All his damage is based on defense, and I should note here that his HP and his defense base numbers are really good. 19, 3, 20 on the HP and 13, 21 on the defense. Really solid numbers, especially for an epic. Speed, very lacking at 94, and attack, well, we don't really care about attack on this champion. As with any damage dealing defensive champion, they're paired very, very well with a champion that gives an increased defense on your team. Not only will it keep them alive longer, but they'll be doing more damage because of the increased defense is essentially like an increased attack because it affects their attack because their attacks are based on defense. You guys get it. So having him with a Mausoleum Mage, with a Thanasil, with basically any defense up, a marked, any defense up champion is going to get way more utility out of him being kind of a semi-nuker on your team as well, and he does hit pretty hard. So he's a Leech on his A1, which makes him immediately viable for Clan Boss, definitely up to maybe Brutal Nightmare Clan Boss. Probably even run him all the way till Ultra Nightmare if you have the right team around him, being a defense-based champion with a high base defense, damage off defense, and the Leech will essentially allow you to not have to wear lifesteal gear on your team. He also has some healing on his A3, which we'll get to in just a moment. On his A2, attacks all enemies on a 4-turn cooldown, has a 60% chance, 100 when booked, of placing a strong version of decreased attack or a 30% decreased crit damage debuff for 2 turns. Not bad, man. I wish it was both or either or decreased attack, I should say. That would make him incredibly viable, even more so for Clan Boss, but it's kind of a crapshoot. But at least it's decreased crit damage, not decreased crit rate. Could be worse. That would make the ability really just not that valuable in my opinion. So I would build him out with accuracy because, again, you have the Leech on the A1, and you have either the decreased attack or crit damage on the A2. On the A3, we have attacks all enemies, another AoE attack on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. This is a good epic champion, so I would advise you guys use your books on him. He is a champion that does need to be booked, in my opinion, to get the full, obviously, the full utility. There's 2 cooldowns on 1 skill here on Smothering Swath. Attacks all enemies, places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then places another 7.5 continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn if at least 1 enemy is hit with a critical hit on his attack. So nice and easy. You want to make sure he's built with a 100% crit rate. You're going to be landing 2 continuous heals every time this A3 goes off. Plus the Leech, he has a nice kind of sustainability. Being a defense-based champion, he's really a defense support-based champion. Increase ally defense and faction crypts by 30%. A great aura for faction crypts. This guy can help you clear all the way, depending on your account, to get past whatever trouble stage that you're on in Ogryn Tribe's faction crypts, okay? In terms of masteries, so many different ways to go about this one, guys. You can go defense tree, you can end with bulwark, you can end with War Master, as I have him built out, helps against Clan Boss, against bosses in general. You can build him out with Helm Smasher, chance of ignoring defense. You can go defense tree, you can go support tree, you can go defense and offense. Really, sky is the limit. A defense-based champion who is also a debuffer. Just a number of different directions. This is the direction I chose to build him out with. I like lasting gifts, the chance to extend the continuous heals. Really nice to have on him. And I went with Sniper along with War Master again. So this is the build that I prefer, but of course go with what works for you in the way that you're going to be using him. In terms of stat priorities, again, accuracy, let's take a look at his total stats real quick here. 238 accuracy, I have a 4,500 defense, 182 speed, crit rate 91, 166 crit damage, 33k HP. So let's talk about options here in terms of how you can build this champion. One thing that you want to think about first is, are you looking to get the Leech and the decrease attack debuff on your enemies. Like, is that really important to you, or do you have another champion on the team, or do you not need the leech? Is your team not, maybe you're using him in a dungeon or in the arena. He's a decent arena champion as well, arena offense. So you have some flexibility there. If you don't need the accuracy, certainly don't go with accuracy banner. Don't worry about accuracy if you don't care about those debuffs. You have to think about what team, what champions you're going to be putting him on a team with. I went with a defense banner. I would advise you guys try to go defense banner if you can get the accuracy from other artifacts, right? I think that this guy works really well with defense banner. I also got an HP percentage roll here. Again, his HP scales really well at 19,320. I went crit damage on the amulet. I want him dealing a lot of damage. He hits for over 100k in the arena and in level 20 dungeons as well. We'll show him in Ice Golem in just a second here. I went with accuracy substats on these artifacts as well. Defense on the ring, defense percentage on the chest, obviously. Speed on the boots. Definitely want to have speed boots on this champion. You can't get away, in my opinion, with defense speed boots. Defense speed boots, what? Defense percentage boots, because he'll be going so slow. That 94 base speed is definitely a handicap on this champion. Crit rate on the gauntlets, or crit damage if you can get the crit rate elsewhere. It's up to you guys, depending on the gear on your account, depending on how much you want to invest your best gear into this champion. And then after that, going for, again, crit rate, crit damage, and defense are really the stats in accuracy and speed that you want to be looking for this champion. Let's go ahead and try him out, guys. Let's try him out in the, let's just see what I have in the arena. Actually have not used him in the arena yet before this video. Let's go against this team. Let's see. So a pretty formidable team. Let's put him in there as kind of a, do I want to put him in there as a nuker against this team? This team I might not be faster than. I'm going to take that back. I don't think I am faster than that team. He doesn't have immunity gear on either, so I can't go against a Hegemon. But this Hegemon's on every team. Let's go against this team. All right, finally found him. Here we go. Let's move myself back in the corner here. And let's see how hard he hits here in the arena. And then we'll take him into Ice Golem. We'll talk about where he's used. We already talked about Clan Boss. I'm not going to depict. He has a pretty cool look to him, huh? I'm not going to show you a Clan Boss battle right now. I don't want to have him speed tuned. It really wouldn't be fair to him as a champion. But, you know, we already know the value he gives. He has the chance of the decreased crit rate, chance of the decreased attack. And, of course, he has that leech, and he'll be dealing a lot of damage and sustaining because he's based on defense. Let's go with speed boost and get him up next. All right, here we go. We have decreased defense on all of the enemies. Let's see how hard he, how hard he hits here on the A2. And I do want to check his A3 as well, because this is also an AoE attack. So here's the A2. 25, 27k damage. It's hard to tell how much defense these guys have, these enemies here, but suffice it to say that wasn't as much as I was expecting it to be. Let's go against her, get that turn meter down. Let's try his A3 out and see how that does. Hopefully everybody kind of stays alive here. They do. He looks to be up next. Let's reduce turn meter on Arbiter or kill Arbiter. Just want to see how much he does here. He'll be up kind of next, maybe next if he stays alive. That's the good thing about him, is he might be better suited on a defensive team in the arena rather than an offensive based team, just because, again, the sustainability. I might use him, actually, now that I think about it, I might use him, if you take a look at my, I'm not going to show you a match, but Tag Team Arena, if you look at my defensive log here, my third team is all based on like a lot of defense, a lot of HP on Mountain King, a lot of defense on Valkyrie, a lot of defense on Siphi, and defense on Razin. He could be a good Razin substitution for this team. He could really substitute in for several of these champions here. So I think that he would be a good fit for defensive-based, kind of like high-resist type teams in the arena. So wasn't super impressed with his damage output. Let's see how he does in Ice Golem's Peak. Again, keep in mind, I do not have, let's see, I do not have on this champion, I guess this is a good squad, I don't have crit damage gauntlets on him, so we could be much higher in terms of his overall damage if we did that. Let's see, pause here. Okay, so 40 to 80k or so, was that 40 to 60k, around that? 40 to 80k, 40 to 60k, not too bad. Again, the thing about this champion, and that was his A3, they're about 20k on an AoE, and you'll notice, again, he's landing some debuffs, he's getting the continuous heals on my team, keeping everybody very, very healthy. This is A1 here, hitting for 15k or so, plus the War Master proc. So you can see what this champion's bringing to the table, right? What type of players should be investing in this champion? a player who is still dealing with progression. I don't have a defense up on this team either. I'm breaking the number one rule that I told you guys. If we had a defense up on this team, I wonder how much he would be dealing in that scenario. I bet it would be around 60 to 80k instead of 40 to 60k damage per attack. So we'll go ahead and see. We'll test him out one time with an increased defense on the same team, maybe like a Whirlwind Frost King, and we'll see how he does there. But getting back to my point, who is going to be using this champion and where? Again, progression champion. You know, like these defense-based champions are really golden, and that's why I said he was a top 10, top 15 epic champion, in my opinion, in the game. I'd be curious if you guys agree or disagree with me, by the way, on that statement. But I think that, again, maybe not the best job highlighting him here in these dungeons so far in the arena, but I think that arena defense team or any kind of challenging area in the game where you're just not able to progress, sticking him in your team as a support with the leech on there, adding those extra heals to the team, and the continuous heals, providing he has close to 100% crit rate, you're going to be looking really, really good with this champion. I think it's going to be a big help to a lot of you guys, especially free-to-play players who actually play for 230 days, right? When you get him, I think that he will be a very important addition, kind of like Scylla the Drakes, to free-to-play players' accounts. He did, 750,000 damage there, almost as much damage as Dracomorph, so not too bad. Overall, I didn't even realize he did that much damage, and his healing was right on par as well with Scylla the Drakes. So not a bad champion. I think he's really, really solid here. Let's put him in. I'm not saying he's the best Fire Knight champion in the world, but he does have the affinity matchup. So let's take out Husk and put him in instead there. Just kind of see how he does on this team here. He'll be like my main support on this squad because I don't really have any heals on the team except for, and I didn't, dude, I didn't put him with a increased defense champion. I'll leave the battle, I apologize, guys. All right, let's take out one of these cold hearts. Let's take out, not that cold heart, that's the good cold heart. That's the bad cold heart. Let's put in a defense up who has a multi-hitter on the A1. I can't think of any now that I say that. I'm just going to put a Mausoleum Mage on the team. So we'll see how much he hits with the defense up. I could have put Siphi in to actually have a better option, but we'll keep it a little bit less legendary heavy on this squad. So you can already see just by my buffs on my team that, look at, okay, 50 to 60k, that was more like it there. And he does have that increased defense buff on him as well. You can see hitting much harder here, and this team is just so solid, right? I mean, they've got all the debuffs we're looking for. We've got all the buffs we're looking for. It's got a Cold Heart in there, a Lysandra. If you don't have Lysandra, having any champion, her main role on this team, her only role really on this team, is a turn meter manipulation. You could have like an Allure in that spot. Or even an Apothecary for the increased speed, increase turn meter boost, and also the triple hitter on his A1. And so in that regard, he's actually even better than Lysandra when you actually get to the Fire Knight. So yeah, but overall, like a really, really solid squad. We get to the Fire Knight in around 55 seconds. But the most importantly, the thing I like about this squad already is the reliability of this team, right? And again, I only have, what, one multi-hitter on this entire team? I don't think I have any. Do I have? No, Cold Heart, that's it. So, gonna be a little bit of RNG before we can actually get this shield down to stay, but once we do, we're gonna be golden here. And that's why I tell you guys all the time here about Fire Knight. I think that it's overrated that you have to have multi-hitters in every spot on the team. Here we have, 2 multi-hitters on the entire team, and as long as you have some turn meter manipulation, you'll be good. Cold Heart on the Heartseeker, for example, is going to fully deplete his turn meter. And I'm very curious to see how much damage Grush does here on this entire battle. Again, with the increased defense up, giving him, we saw those hits much, much harder than we saw in the previous battle inside Ice Golem. Man, I really think this champion's super solid, man. I think a lot of you guys are really going to enjoy him. Again, I can't help but mention Scylla the Drakes. She's my favorite champion, I think, in the game now. Just so good, man. So good. And to have another really solid, probably the best, like I said, daily login reward. Look at that damage, man. Almost 1.2 million. Right there with Cold Heart, dude. And he's not dealing the big 500,000, damage hits like Cold Heart is as well. I'm really impressed with this champion, especially the damage. Wow. Guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video there. I hope you like Ghrush the Mangler as well. Good luck. If you don't need to pull him, right? You'll be getting him eventually. So good luck with this champion. I hope this guide has served you all well. If you like the content here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. And as always, take care, guys.